love the band.
Great band.
Great band.
You sing?
I rap.
You're a rapper?
Gangster rap. How's this gonna go, Betsy? How do you feel about it?
Oh, well, it'll work out.
I just got Botox in my third eye, so I'm pretty psychic myself. It looks good.
So you use Botox because every time I go to LA, everybody can't drink, they drool.
Yeah, no, that was a joke. No, I'm from the Sioux. We use window cocking. Yeah.
And window cocking is good because no cold air gets in, and you basically insulate yourself.
Just absolutely take them all literally.
I love Italian. I love this.
Working with Italians. I love this. I was just there for the first time.
And it's
since
all
I was
Italian.
Like 11. Super Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I went to Arturo's for. I love Italians because Arturo has like the long hair, and I just picture it always like being windblown, even when it's not. And you know, they just sort of try just sexy, like I will seduce you and your husband, and
your husband too.
Yeah, like I just.
So he wants to throw everybody in.
Well, who doesn't want to seduce my husband, really, Frank? But yeah, no, I just like.
So he's a handsome man.
He's a handsome bastard. I just have. I got some ethnicity envy going on. Like I want to be Italian or Spanish. Right, like Latinas, because they're very ay papi and el pollo loco, and you know, dos huevos por favor.
They're all moving, right?
They're always moving. You say dos huevos por favor, like half your band's turned on right now. Half of them are sport.
Bob just killed a cat.
You did. Wow, that's not even a euphemism.
So is it a culture shock for you? Because I tried. I went to LA and tried. Didn't work out. But when I was a kid, I lived in LA, and it was a culture shock for me because everybody was full of shit. Like, not every single person, but most people never meant what... Here, at least in Canada, you know where you stand with somebody. Over there, everybody tells you one thing, and you got to be the last person to leave or they're going to talk about you, just like an Italian wedding.
Oh, yeah, it's as deep as a lunch tray. Yeah, but, you know, I think people are people everywhere. You just have to give it a little more time. I think you can mine for diamonds, but LA takes a little longer, and we live outside of it. Like, we're somewhere where you don't even have to lock your doors at night. That appeals to my small town sensibility, but, yeah, it's a little nuts. I find it, like... I don't know why I'm still there, because I guess it's just like it's dirty in parts and it's constantly rejecting me, and you know it's neurotic. It's like the bad boy of cities. So I want it even more.
But why is it rejecting you?
No. You're always going to get rejected a little bit in LA. I know you can't take it too seriously, but there's some wonderful people there. I love the weather. I love the beach. You know, I mean, you can't beat it for a lot of things. And dogs are happy. Love the earthquakes. Just keeps you alive.
Shake things up.
Yeah, because I really have a low boredom threshold. I'm like a 2-year-old. I've got ADD, so a couple of world disasters, and I'm right in there. But the problem is they can handle earthquakes.
Well, they're prepared.
Well, you go
they're
to
earthquake
LA.
ready.
Yeah, like they're like, don't be a pussy. It's an earthquake. Don't worry about it, right? Like, just get some duct tape and bottled water. From what I understand, and it's the same thing with drive-bys. They're like, it's so 10 years
just
ago.
Just get duct tape after and bottled water.
Duct tape and water. Well, that really works for everything in life.
Because
I've got duct tape and water right now in my purse. And for CSI Guelph. And you know, also like fires. My neighbors, there was a fire raging across the street. They went surfing. But here's the Achilles heel for LA. They fall apart like the back end of Saturday Night Live when it rains. When it rains, people scatter from the streets like they're extras in a Godzilla movie. They can't take it.
It's like kryptonite. Because their hair goes down, they can't go get another appointment, so they're screwed.
Yeah, they can't do it. They can't do it. They can't handle rain. So I always think, what if it snowed? But yeah, they can't do the rain. So they're goofy. It's fun. But you know what? Lots of material.
But
lots of material.
Yeah, it is, because it's the only place in the world that there's more Brazilian waxes for men than women.
Oh, I didn't. How do you know that?
I just picked it up on the internet.
Really? It's an odd statistic.
I Googled it.
I'm just going to take your word for it.
I saw your stand-up, and you're not a shy woman. Like, you tell her, like, you destroyed this guy. He heckled you, and you just chopped him down, and you made everybody laugh. But
no, I'm a very nice comic. I really am never mean. That guy was being
told him that he had no pee-pee.
Well, he was being a little rapey, you know, and no, he wasn't. He was being mean, and he was interrupted. He was belligerent drunk. So then you got to bring down the hammer.
You slapped him out.
I had him killed. No, it was very cool because.
And I couldn't find him at theaters.
No, can't find him now. Can't find him now. But the best was that he was being mean, and even after the show, he was hammered, and he was being inappropriate. So it was like Shane Corson and Darcy Tucker and, you know, Eric Lindros, at least in my fantasy. And they're like, where is this guy? Oh my God, it turns me on to this day, and they're just walking like Reservoir Dogs, like in slow-mo to beat up the, that's a really big go-to fantasy for.
But those guys were already in the women's washroom when you went there, and the guy followed you, so that was in your fantasy.
That was the weird part, yeah, of course. Oh, no, in the fantasy, I'm Shane Corson.
That's your Shane.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody's my bitch, I'm Shane, yeah. I like to reverse that.
So you wrote
I'm very boring in real life.
No,
I just talk smack with my comedy.
So you wrote a book. It's called Angels, Vampires, and Douchebags. So where can you buy Angels, Vampires, and Douchebags?
You can get it at Indigo, Chapters, Amazon.
Everywhere.
And, yeah, and you can go to carlacollins.com. I've got that direct link.
So let me ask you,
Yeah.
I understand the Angels, I understand the Vampires, but where the Douchebags come into
Really?
place? Yeah, I'm just curious.
Oh, it's like, it's a comedic self-help book, and, there's so many self-help books, and plus we've got Oprah, and we're all doing cleanses. We're fine. But you have to deal with all the other yahoos in the world. So it's really an others book, Instead of self, it's an others help book. So basically, I divided the world, people, places, and things into 3 categories. Angels, and that's not something boring. I don't mean like Laura Ingalls from I don't mean like broads who jog at 6 a.m. because that's just annoying. Like when I'm having my first coffee in Drambuie and Benson and Hedges, I want to see some, chick out there jogging. But, people who save your butt, maybe it's a good bottle of Pinot, a warm bath, dogs, kids, those are angels. Vampires are anything sexy but who may ultimately suck the life out of you, like bad boys and crazy bitches and, all that kind of thing. And then douchebags, pretty that's really the one thing no one's ever asked me to explain. That's just, you don't want those. So it's somebody, there's different, maybe there's a felony douche, and that's somebody who sleeps with their wife or kicks a puppy, and then you've got, misdemeanor douches. They key your car, or, I lost my Steve Tyler feather. Hang on.
So that's a big thing.
If other parts start falling off of me, we got trouble. We're good.
We got a clip because they're freaking out. Show the clip.
Okay, that's a great setup. That's awesome. Show the clip. I won't set it up.
Well, they're killing, driving me nuts.
I don't think we need a setup.
So this is a clip of your show. This is your new show.
I'm kind of distancing myself from it now to show the clip.
So what's the title? I apologize.
It's called Carla Wood. It's been on for a couple of years.
I've watched it. I like it. I like it. You know what I like it? Like all these reality shows, like Christy Ellie's got it. It's all set up. It's contrived, and
ours was very real.
No, that's what I like. No, but I don't know if it's real.
Oh, it's real.
But when I see it, it seems like you're laid back and you're doing it. Well, you're arguing with me. You got me all fucking making my head spin like Exorcist.
Or are you aroused? Which is it?
Show the clip.
He's complaining, but his eyes say yes.
Okay. Show the clip.
In case you weren't really paying attention, or you're like me and got distracted by something shiny.
Yeah, I'm sorry, did you see the dolphin?
I'm Carla Collins, and this is me jumping through hoops like a trained Chinese circus bear on meth. Clearly, I will do pretty much anything to get myself noticed in LA.
Would you ever do anything nasty to get PR?
You mean like a sex tape? I don't consider that nasty.
They say women are good at multitasking, but with 1,000,001 things going on right now, this is girls multitasking gone wild. I've barely had any time to focus on my stage show, Third Eye Blonde. Thing is, my spidey senses are tingling and telling me there's something I'm forgetting.
So we're here to get some marriage counseling, okay?
Yahtzee! I'm supposed to get married.
Good job. Great show.
A lot of fun.
Where can you watch your show?
I think it's on TV Tropolis and Global Reality.
Awesome.
And that's done now, so now it's just in rerun heaven.
So you're not renewing it?
No, I don't think so. I think that's enough for that. Got other stuff coming out.
Good. So you always wanted to be a comedian, because I remember when you were the weather girl, it's like you just wanted to break out. While you're doing the weather, it's just like you wanted to do the...
Well, rain's in Halifax for the 40th day.
It's okay.
You're looking to mix things up, right?
So where do you want to go from here? You did the weather girl thing, you did you had your show, you're writing a book, you're living in LA, you look great, you're a funny lady. What do you want to do with your life? You want to get into movies?
I'd like to have an action figure.
See how I set this up? Tried to be sincere.
No, I do. You know what? And then I'm going to be sincere back to you. 2 things. Yeah, movies. I did a couple of short films this year with Italians. By the way, seriously, if you have an opportunity to work with Italians, do. Roulette Pictures. One's called Brain Freeze, where I appear in a bikini the whole time. Had to work out like a Spartan. Everybody else is 12. Don't ask why I was in it. It's a comedy. And the other one's called Pizza Bagel, and we're doing a feature this year. And I just finished a pilot that I wrote for Fox. So, I mean, listen, at this point, I'm like, I've been on more pilots than a flight attendant, so I don't talk about them until, they actually come about. But it's a show I created called The Last Laugh, and it talks about how I do comedy at funerals, which is true. I've done comedy, so I know. And then I'm not the only one who dies. Hey, but so that's just in the pilot stage. So that would be my dream, Frank, is to create and star in my own vehicle, like a type of Larry David type show where it's not totally scripted. And then Humble and Fred and I have a sex tape coming out. Which is
I heard that, and it's great. So it's for being a film festival. It's called The Drive-Thru? No,
it is. No, you know what? You have to be really careful when you pick your partners for a sex tape. Like, I like to go like Kobe Bryant because Black is so slimmy when he's on top of me. Yeah, that's where you gotta... Now, my first one was with a midget. Horrible choice because I looked huge, right? The camera adds 10 pounds. I'm just working like a loofah. Anyway, what?
But is the midget okay? Because I heard that for a while he was in...
Midget's still in a coma. It's too fresh for the midget to talk about. That happens to anybody.
No, because I was in Florida. I met a midget. That's not politically correct, but this midget just came out of the cupboard, and.
I love midget jokes. I'm sorry. I'm a tall woman. I love it. I love it. So now you're just shaking. What are you doing with my book?
It still says douchebag.
Now all the fairy dust came out of it. It's no longer magic.
Buy this book so she can get her first residual check.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be awesome. I'm talking to the great Canadian Carla Collins. Good to have you back in Canada. You're always funny. Give it up for Carla Collins. We're going to be right back here on the Being Franchise.